it's Bretta here from runforfit.com, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can eliminate chronic shin splint when running. So we know that forefoot running is a great solution to fixing shin splints, and not only that, barefoot running, because barefoot running also encourages a forefoot strike landing. Barefoot running was also found to help with shin pain as compared to running in shoes with a heel strike landing. But if you are a forefoot runner and you still struggle with shin pain, I came across a study that linked low step frequency to chronic shin splints. And what step frequency is also known as step rate. And basically it's the number of times your foot strikes the ground per minute. And a lot of East African runners, such as Tirunesh Baba, Haile Gebrselassie, these runners at the elite level have a higher step frequency than most recreational runners, who most of these runners are heel strikers, and heel striking typically allows for a longer stride length. So heel strike runners tend to take longer strides, but not only that, they tend to have a slower step frequency. So basically, if you have a low step frequency, which is something you don't want, your foot spends more time on the ground. And when your foot spends more time on the ground, this allows for more abnormal movements of the foot to occur. It also allows for greater force production, because the foot is essentially exposed to greater force production the more time it spends on the ground. So the key is you want to spend more time in the air versus spending more time on the ground. And naturally, a forefoot strike landing allows for this. So like I said, if you are a forefoot runner who has transitioned from heel strike running and you still struggle with shin splints, you might need to adjust your step frequency. And the best ways to do that is to run barefoot, because this activates the nerves in the feet, and the nerves, especially if you're not used to running barefoot, this makes the nerves a little hypersensitive. So you're more adept to pick up your feet at a faster rate. So this is a great natural way to increase your stride frequency. But if you don't want to run barefoot, you need to make the conscious effort to take quicker steps. And if you read a lot of the training tips by Alberto Salazar, one of the things Alberto Salazar did to improve Galen Rupp's performance and Mo Farah's performance is to increase their stride frequency. And another way you can do this is by using a metronome. So we know there's a link between high step frequency and a lower risk of shin splints, but why does increasing your step frequency allow for less strain and stress on the tibia, which is the shin bone? And one study found that increasing your step rate while using a forefoot strike landing completely reduces peak tibial contact force, because a higher stride rate or a step frequency also translates into a shorter stride. And when your stride is shorter because your step frequency is higher, this allows the heel or the foot to be positioned closer to the center of mass, which is your upper body, your head, and your torso. And when this happens, peak ground reaction forces on the lower leg are also significantly reduced as well. So this is how increasing your step frequency is less damaging on the shin bone, because it reduces impact force parameters that are associated with chronic shin splints and tibial stress fractures, both of which are significantly higher in heel strike running as compared to forefoot strike running. So for the forefoot runners who are struggling with chronic shin splints, the basic rule of thumb is to try to take smaller steps. This will increase your stride frequency, and also it will reduce your stride length, so you have a less risk of overstriding, and this reduces the peak tibial forces that are damaging. So try that and see if it helps with your shin pain. It might take a bit, because shin splints is, once you get them, you typically have them for at least a good week or so. But shin splints is an injury that I don't want to say you want to run with, but it is an injury that you can definitely use the pain as feedback to help you modify your forefoot running mechanics. So if you want to read more on what I just discussed, I will link the original article below, and you can read about the research backing on how step frequency allows for a shorter stride, which takes a lot of repetitive stress off the shins. And for more tips on forefoot running versus the dangers of heel strike running, please head on over to my blog, runforfit.com, where you will also find information on barefoot running, as well as my reviews and recommendations on barefoot-inspired footwear that is suitable for forefoot running. Have fun out there on the roads, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay updated on the latest research on biomechanics. And have fun out there on the roads. Bye. Bye for now.